Hey everyone, it's Tony here with Nerds Ever Sleep, and I've got another Iron Studios 1/10 scale unboxing for you today. Now, this definitely is not MOJO, who I have been telling you guys I was going to brave the challenge of doing this week, but due to some time constraints, we actually had a break in these crazy random thunderstorms we've been getting up here in New England. It feels like it's Florida now. So I had to go out today and try to get my lawn mowed and do all that kind of crap, do all the yard work, try to get some stuff done running around while it was clear outside. So while I'm not giving you guys MOJO, I'm going to give you guys something that's probably going to be pretty awesome. We're going to be doing Psylocke today. So she is one of the older pieces in this Sentinel battle diorama display. She was also a part of one of the other giant Sentinel displays. As you can see here on the box, she's actually attached to a piece of a Sentinel. And in the actual big Sentinel diorama, she's actually attached to it as well. I believe it was Sentinel 3. So, because Sentinel 2 is Magneto and Gambit and Juggernaut. And then Sentinel 3, I believe, has Psylocke on it. Not 100% sure. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm pretty sure she's a part of that actual diorama with Storm and Archangel. So this is her standalone, obviously, because I'm not doing the big giant Sentinel pieces. My display is going to be more of a huge corner battle scene, which once I get all my new shelving put up in the corner of the room, I'm going to show you guys the entire battle setup. And as we put more proxy pieces in, it will start to kind of evolve. I'm also going to be doing a lower level with all the MCU stuff. So there's going to be MCU on the bottom and a big battle area, and then there's going to be X-Men up on the top. So as the lines increase, I'm going to run out of space eventually. So I'll have to expand it even further. But again, didn't have time for MOJO. I'm going to try to make this one quick. I'm going to bring you guys over, as usual, show you the box. Now, this is an older style box. It's old enough where the actual glue is coming apart on the box. So it's been kind of sitting for a while waiting to get opened. So we're going to check out her box right now and take a look inside. So right off the bat, you guys can tell this is the older style Iron Studios box with the kind of eye logo cut out right here. We see a zoomed in look at the statue itself, Iron Studios, 1/10 BDS, Psylocke, X-Men, obviously. Here on the side, we've got kind of a silhouette of the statue itself. On the other side here, we've got the Iron Studios logo. We've got Psylocke, obviously, and Iron Studios. And here on the back, we have a full-on picture of what the statue is going to look like. So she looks like she's going to be pretty cool. She's going to have like a katana kind of sticking out of the Sentinel leg, or I think it's a leg, and her kinetic blade kind of out of her other hand. So this looks like it's going to be pretty cool. We're going to go around, and we're going to take her out of the box and check her out right now. Obviously, one thing I did forget, we've got the X logo and Psylocke up top. But enough of the box. Let's take a look at what's inside. All right, so I've already taken the liberty of cutting and kind of wiggling this loose. It was kind of stuck, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't break anything taking it off. And as you can see here, always cut, obviously, from the Iron Studios logo up top. Don't want to put her upside down. She is all covered in her usual tissue paper. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to grab what I'm assuming is the base. It's a giant Sentinel arm. I thought it was a leg. I guess it's an arm, so I was incorrect. And her base looks like it's going to be the most interesting out of this setup so far. Because it's literally a Sentinel's arm cut in half. I don't know if you guys can see this that well. Obviously, I'm going to bring you in closer and let you see it. And we got here, of course, on the bottom, Iron Studios and Psylocke. So it looks like there are going to be several foot pegs here. There is a spot right here in the hand. It looks like her sword is going to probably plug in there. There is a peg right here, which I'm imagining is going to be her foot or her knee. And there is a footprint with a peg hole right here. So one foot is probably going to go here. I'm just imagining the other one is going to go here, and her blade is going to come here, and it looks like the blade is going to come out the other end. So it's going right through. So I'm going to put this right here. See how sturdy it is? Oh yeah. I can actually see the light through the hole in the hand. So yes, there is going to be a hole in the hand. So, all right, looks like we've got that. So I'm going to see what little pieces we've got here, because we do have some small pieces. Make sure you do check your box if you are opening this for the first time, and be very careful, because some of these pieces can be very fragile. So what do we got here? It looks like we've got... So we've got a full katana, by the looks of this, right here. We have another small piece right here. Let's take a look at what this is. All right, this is her hand with the kinetic blade sticking out. There's another thing right here. So this is... Okay, this is a broken sword, or a piece of a sword. And then it looks like that might be it. Nope, we got something else right here. What is this? Ah, okay, this is her head. So we've got her head right here. And I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything else. Okay, this is going to obviously be her body. Be careful taking it all apart, because you don't want to break her little sash there. Just making sure there's nothing else missing here. Body looks actually sculpted pretty well. So those are all the pieces there. I'm going to just double check to make sure there isn't any other pieces missing here in the box. All right, so again, I did double check just to make sure there wasn't another piece. This may actually be a mistake. I'm not sure. It looks like maybe this was a broken sword. So maybe this was just kind of supposed to have been replaced in the package. I got to look into it myself, because I'm not actually sure. All the pictures, she only has the one sword. So this could just be an error. Not actually sure. I will look into that later. But as far as I understand, she's only supposed to have the one sword and it's supposed to stick through. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to stick the sword through. So that's going to go right through the hand, as you can see. And now I'm going to kind of see what we got here. So we've got her foot peg that goes in the bottom, which will be obviously a peg that's going to insert in. So her foot goes in as a magnet. So one foot has a magnet, the other foot has a peg. So you do have to be careful trying to wiggle her in, because you don't want to get the magnet of the other foot in first and then actually force the piece in incorrectly. So once that's all in, we're good, we're good. And then we've got the foot goes in. So I actually have to do something again, because I screwed up here. And she is very, very hard to get out. So first, put the sword in her hand and go from there. So take it one step at a time. Put her hand on the sword first. Take care of that. And then put her foot peg in. Make sure all this is going to fit right, because you want to make sure everything goes in perfectly smooth the first time. And then her foot peg should all click in. All right. So as you just saw me do there, you do have to be careful, and it is going to take a little bit of finessing. So you got to get the hand on the sword first. And then this will move in or out based on how you're finagling the foot peg. Go with the foot peg second. Worry about this last. This piece is magnetized. So you don't want to clamp this in with the magnet first and then have to wiggle your foot peg around. So just a little bit of advice, as you just saw me do it here. I'm not going to edit any of that out. Sword, foot, then right foot. So keep that in mind. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put her head on, and her head is magnetized, so it should just click right in. Let me just make sure I'm getting it right. I want to make sure. So it is magnetized, and it did click in. I had it at the wrong angle. And now we're going to put her arm in. Boom, it's magnetized as well. So that's it. And again, I think this sword was put in there in error. I'm just going to maybe I'll like lay it down or something on here. Maybe put it on the display. But she looks really freaking cool. So I'm going to bring you guys in, and I'm going to show you her up close right now. As always, I'm going to give you guys a zoomed out 360 of her. And as you can see, this is a really cool piece. Definitely looks super dynamic. They did a great job with all the details here. As you can see, the Sentinel hand and arm is like split in half. Her sword sticking out through it. That was a very cool idea that they did that. I like this. This is really cool. And I think they did a great job with her. Even the face looks great, which I'm going to zoom in and let you guys take a look. But I'm going to give you guys First, I'm going to give you guys a zoomed in look here in the Sentinel arm. And then I'm going to show you Psylocke. It's herself, I should say. So I'm going to zoom in now. I'm going to bring you guys in. I'm going to show you all the detail on this. I mean, this is really cool looking. They've literally, I mean, it's just literally cut right in half. And it shows all kind of the insides. While it's not the craziest looking thing, sorry about that. It is detailed enough where you can definitely see this thing has been sliced down the middle, possibly through Psylocke's blade. And you can see right here where this is split right here, like her sword is splitting through the hand now. So again, very, very well with the details here. And I appreciate the fact that Iron Studios pulls this off with such, again, small scales. You can see a little better right here that this finger is completely split and going down the hand. So very, very cool. I'm going to bring you down to the bottom again, over to this side, so we can take a look at Psylocke herself. As you can see, here's where her foot goes up. Again, sculpting is very nice. There is her, sorry about that, the kinetic blade coming out of her hand. Very, very good. The costume is very well made. The sculpt work on it is good. Even the face. Now I'm going to show you guys this. I'll try to get it in good lighting. The face came out really good. She looks pissed off and serious. I like that. We've got kind of the flow, the motion of the hair, like she's coming down. Looks really good. We've got obviously her sash with some motion as well. So they really did a good job showing, again, the movement here and the motion. So the dynamic pose is fantastic on her. So I'm going to bring her around. Let you guys take a look at the back, obviously, of the costume. So again, here she is holding the katana. You know, even the muscle details here just on the back through the outfit, through her leotard, look great. Again, no bad line work or anything on her thigh bands or the boots or anything like that, or the booty. Again, still everything looks really, really good. And excellent sculpt work here by Iron Studios. And again, super impressive especially for the scale of these. Now, again, this is, you know, one of the older pieces, but she came out fantastic. And it just shows you the amount of care that this company has put into this line. This is just so impressive. So again, I really, really am surprised. I think the only thing I could say is maybe the kinetic blade could have looked a little bit cooler, but I think that is literally my only gripe about this thing. But the kinetic blade still came out great. So we're going to go and we're going to come back out. I'm going to give you guys my final thoughts. But actually, I'm going to give you guys one more quick thing. I just noticed this. I mean, look at the detail here, even in the muscle, going from the chest to the underarm. I mean, that's detail, you know. And literally, I just noticed it zoomed out. I was like, holy crap! Like, look, she's ripped right there when the light hits her. Like, you know. So again, more detail that they just put into this, and she looks fantastic. So now I'm going to bring you guys out, and I'm going to give my final thoughts on Psylocke. Okay, now you guys got a closer look at her, and I'm just taking a look here at the amount of details in this piece. Now, just like when I was just doing the 360 view, kind of at the end where I showed you, oh wow, hey, there's some muscle detail right here that I didn't notice. The more you look at this, as simplistic as this is, the more you notice that there are some great details in it. And I, again, can appreciate that Iron Studios did such a great job with this piece. Now, I love Psylocke. She's one of my top X women, so, of course, because no one beats Rogue. But they did such a good job with this, and she's very impressive. And again, for having a simple base, there's nothing crazy complicated, big giant thing about this. But just like they've been doing with all these other X-Men pieces, the details in just the things like the base. In the other pieces, we've seen, broken debris from the school, broken concrete, broken, building pieces, Sentinel pieces that are serving as the base. I know Havoc, who I just did more recently, he was on top of a severed Sentinel hand, stuff like that. All these little details that they're throwing into the bases add such an amazing presence to these characters, and just to the fact that there is a giant battle going on with these, pieces. So having all these proxy pieces, setting them all up kind of all over the place, definitely adds to it by having these hyper detailed bases. And again, this is a 1/10 scale. So it's not a super giant piece. Granted, she is standing on a taller base, but for the amount of detail they put into these things, it is super impressive. And again, I am going to highly recommend Psylocke. Even with the face came out so good. Sometimes these things can be a little iffy when they have when they have the faces, but I've noticed the cartoon ones are not as bad as the MCU ones. They could be a little hit or miss getting the likenesses down. But with these, I've noticed they did a fantastic job. So I'm going to highly, highly recommend Psylocke if you can still get your hands on her. Again, she is an older piece, but I've seen them for a fairly decent price. Nothing too crazy. So I'm going to rate her as what I've been doing with most of these. I'm going to give her a high 8 because I think she came out fantastic. And I do highly recommend her to anybody collecting this series or to any fan of just Psylocke in general. That's why having the option to do these standalone or in the giant Sentinel displays is really cool because you don't have to spend, I don't know, people are selling for $3,000 now. All that money on the big Sentinel to get Psylocke. You can buy Psylocke on her own. You can buy Archangel on his own. You can buy Storm on her own, etc. So, very cool. I love it. I think she came out so good. And again, I highly recommend her. But that's it for this unboxing video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys weren't too bummed out that I didn't do MOJO today. And this made up for it. But again, I will be braving MOJO next week. I will not keep procrastinating. I did take an extra day off of work to do some more filming. So, MOJO is coming next week. Be ready for it. And you can laugh at me attempting to put them together. But again, if you guys like the video, give it a like, give it a share, click that subscribe button down below. If I do find any sites that are still selling her, I will post links down in the description below. Follow me on all these socials. I'm pretty much all over the place now. Everywhere I can go, spread the nerdiness. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, everyone.